Good evening, my peoples. Welcome back. Today we are doing it live. Joined here by my good friend James, an addiction counselor, a psychologist, and a mental health practitioner. Karibu sana Mwadi.
Asante.
Say hi to our peoples.
Nasikia una struggle kuniita James sijui nini majina mingi mingi.
James hatujazoea bana. James hatujazoea. Lakini naona we are on a professional table, naona wacha nijaribu James. Lakini hata by the way nakataa Mwas. Lakini thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, karibu. We've been announcing that we'll bring a professional from, I think, season 1. So ni poa tumekuleta kwa hii kwanza, where today we'll be talking about the Tinder swindler. Na kwa maybe kwa viewers wenye aja watch, I'd like to run through it haraka.
Kabla we run through, nitangaze umeniamsha. I have no idea.
Unajua nimeona huyu jamaa mpaka amepelekwa sijui court, nikasema let's do this manze, tumpige psychology tuone.
I think generally hata before tuanze nilikuwa tu nataka kusema you've been doing a good job. I've been following your videos. I appreciate the fact that you have gone out of your way to educate the public on issues that are not very common. No, that are very common but not spoken about. Hii shida iko kwa kila mtu lakini hakuna mtu anaongea, so it's good to see somebody go out of their way, use their time to just pass out the message out there that what we face is nothing strange. So hata kabla uanze show, I had to say that.
Thank you. Yeah, since it's an addiction related channel, it means a lot coming from you, Mas. Watu bado hujaintroduciwa vizuri kwa stories, but we are almost getting to where you fit into all the bigger picture. So, but I'm glad you're here today.
Waambie nimekuwa behind the scenes.
Umekuwa behind the scenes. Yes, Mwas has been behind the scenes. Now you know. He's our first professional to be on the show, so it is my pleasure and it is an honor. So we get to the topic. Naona ma comments shaanza. Francis, Wiley, thank you for joining us. So nipiga watu background kidogo ya Tinder swindler. He's a guy that we all know. He is on Tinder, hence the Tinder swindler, and he swindles. Hiyo nafikiri kila mtu amejua kwa inapigwa advertisements and everything. So what he does is he hooks up with swipe right. Of course siko Tinder, labda Mwasa kwa Tinder tuambie.
Kwanza nashangaa hivi. Sawa, tuendelee tu, nitashika as we go along.
Nimejua ni dating app. I think I have a friend who's there, so you can get a lot of things as actually the first lady and describe whatever it is you're looking for. Inaweza kwa one night stand, inaweza kwa long time relationship, inaweza just a friend. So I think ni dating app, si ati ukiwa Tinder ati ni vibaya. So this guy meets the first lady. We're introduced to a first lady, sikumbuki jina. Na wakidate it is mesmerizing. The lady describes it as a movie. Vile wana meet, the first ride ni Rolls Royce, hotel ni 5-star, cash ile wana spend per night ni a huge amount of money. I think the first night was $20,000 in one night. So, and then eventually once mmejuana, mmekuwa mabeshte, he runs a narrative where since he's in the diamond industry, he has enemies. So anashinda aki place your fear in the ladies that on a date, that his enemies are after him and he's after a very big deal. Hiyo deal ikiingiana, they'll be very rich. Okay? It's nimesahau the amount, but a very large amount of money was at stake. So down the line, and it doesn't take long, a few months, he starts asking for money. So it will be like, my accounts are frozen. Send me a couple of dollars. Send me. It's not a couple. It's a lot of money. So that's the con. He's shown you how rich he is, what kind of lifestyle he can afford. You buy into the idea. So when he asks for 100,000, you'll be like, we spend 20 in a night. We spend 40 in a night. We've been in flights all over. So what is 100? And then he'll pay you back. So I'm going to do the first lady. I'm going to do the second lady. Eventually, we introduced to a third lady. And that's the twist now. Hii ni spoiler alert kama kuna mtu hajawatch na anataka kuwatch. The twist is that he uses the money for the first lady to finance the second lady evil. So ni kama merry-go-round. He basically does not have, as much as what the documentary shows is that he does not have money of his own. Anadu. So finally he's caught and released. Actually, that's another thing. Maybe we'll hear what Moas thinks about it. But I did not understand how throughout, as in Nikama Hana Dambi, as in there was no wrongdoing. I thought there's fraud. There's so much I was seeing were wrong now. Apparently, he cannot be jailed for, I think it was jailed for 3 months. You managed
15. It was 3 months, yeah, it was 3.
Yes, that's so basically that's the move. And my thoughts, I think this guy, the start of it is like, it's a playbook from Money Heist. Come to watch Money Heist. It was deadly. I can't blame the ladies. I'm a player game before. If I was, for instance, looking for love and some guy came like that, I don't see how kila mtu akona opinion, but sioni hiyo design mtu angetoboa hiyo. From you would not sense the con picture, and then the best part ni amedo research. This is where I kind of give him some props. Google anatokea exactly what you want to do, and then Google is everything, so you kind of don't have a reason to doubt further. So it was a thought of plan, but the ending, that's probably why he got caught. Props to the last lady, perfect. If this was a movie, it would be a good movie. Unfortunately, it is real life, real people. So it's hurting real lives. Glad that all of a sudden, I think Nileo, he has been sued in Tel Aviv. So we wait to see. Other than that, Mr. Moas, we would like to pick your brain in the, should I say, the psychological part of how we know thieves, yes, but why specifically, let me say, with ladies, with love. This is actually a game with love. Just as a side note, there's a part where the documentary did not want to explore further, but in depth, but he was also gay. I noticed that. So it's hurting men and women, directly and indirectly. So, James, let's use James. Let us start. Alafu mwongea kizungu. So let's go.
Inakataa, Moas na kizungu inakataa.
Sasa naongea Kiswahili kwa Moas. So Moas, what
this story, we can look at it from so many angles. But I would want us to look at it from just the human story perspective. number one, for both men and women, ni muhimu tuelewe kwanza from the start that man's number one fear, every man, and by man I mean man and woman, man's number one is rejection. So everything that you do in your daily life, you will be doing it subconsciously trying to avoid rejection. And the man's number one crave or need is acceptance. That's why you have anxieties, you have, when you're joining some place new, ukienda place watu hawakujui, there is always that anxiety of fitting in. It's because subconsciously you are afraid of rejection. But now, we divide sasa to come into love relationships. And you'll notice that when it comes to love, we are very gullible. For lack of a better word, tatumia jina gullible. We are very, very easily swayed. We are blinded. They say love is blind.
Love is blind.
Venye tu umesema, say he would do his research. He would target, kwa sababu yake ni target. He would target certain ladies and make sure that he knows everything about them and model his lifestyle to suit what the research shows the other person would fall for. Now, me and you, watu wenye wanaume, kwa sababu sisi ndio ukatia naturally katia siku hizi vitu zinatana, but you will realize hata wewe senye unakatia dem, ukifanya study kidogo utajua if I behave in this manner ataingia box yangu. If I do 1 to 3, she is more likely to accept my advances. And that's what this, it's both a very simple, it's both a very simple thing and a very complicated thing. Simple because he just follows the natural order of things. Anajua how to use the lady. He knows just everything, the right moves, paying attention, pulling seats, opening car doors, showering with gifts, all those things, right things, until uingie box yake. So ni kama ile kuku yenyewe rushiwa mahindi, anakurushia tu mahindi pole, unakaa mtu unajileta.
Yeah. The first lady alikuwa anasema ati their first night ati she was so impressed, ati share so much, yani akakuwa vulnerable, ati for a man so well traveled and so rich, for him to open up, yani hizo zilikuwa part of vile anaingiza huu mdema one. So I get exactly what you say.
Now ujue Freddie, even to bring it closer home, I think hii kitu ime open up debate. It has opened up debate so much that on the social media, I have started seeing Kenyan ladies giving the experiences of this con game, for lack of a better word. Kuna mademo wamenunuliana matatu huko. Kuna wengine wamenunuliana nyumba. Kuna wengine, you read through the social media and you get surprised. So it's nothing new. It's just that this was, but it's basically nothing new. Museum, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything.
Yeah, but this happen. It happen now. Yeah, Nipo, I've just seen another story just before now. Mtu ameshare FB the same way you're saying. Dem anasema amespend how many millions kwa mjamaa. So probably ni juu Tinder similar. Even more why I think the awareness to, as much as we victimize against or we judge or tujue exactly relationships gani across borders, whether female or male, zinaweza cause behavior kama hii.
Now, ukiuliza Freddie, why these stories are not common, ama mbona watu waongei, kumbuka hata kwa hiyo out of about 3 or 4, it is only the first one. It's actually the first one who was swindled, who was able to, she was so bitter that she followed this guy. Unakumbuka akihama akarudi kwa madhake, a different country, umse akaanza kufuata madhake, And this girl became so bitter, she decided that I will investigate this. And again, Freddie, umeuliza juu ya light sentence. Mbona huyu msee alishikwa na he just got a slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
Remember,
I was thinking the amount of damage he's caused compared to the let's say the punishment that he got. For me, it did not make sense.
You see, Freddie, unfortunately, the law is an us. Tuko hii program yako iko watershed.
I think such a word is allowed, I think.
The law is very complicated. The law is not about what the common man perceives. It is about what evidence do you have, tangible evidence. Now, this guy was so clever, he would not leave behind evidence. If you follow that story with Yuri, it's not even the police who investigated, it's a newspaper.
Yeah.
Unakumbuka who did that expose? Because
investigative journalist, yeah.
Hakuna tangible evidence. And what this does, when somebody has been caught, as the ladies were, it comes with a lot of guilt, it comes with a lot of shame. So what hide, the natural response will be to hide and feel like you are a failure, you're the one who was not clever enough, you're the one who was not discerning enough, this can only happen to you. So you'll find imehappen kwa watu wengi sana, lakini kila mtu anafikiria inaweza happen tu kwake, yeye ndio alikuwa fala. Na hivyo ndivyo ina happen hata huku, watu wengi sana wanakoniwa, but you recoil, you get inside you and think a failure, and the shame that accompanies it hata haiwezi kubaliwa guy. But remember, even as this guy got sijui hizo 3 months, kumbuka demo wa kwanza aliachoniwa sijui akafanywa, she completely went bankrupt. And I think I watched that show about 2 weeks ago or 3.
Yeah.
Was saying she's still paying for those loans that she took.
Yeah.
Even though everybody knows ni kukoniwa alikoniwa, bado kulipa. So you can imagine the emotional distress that this con game came with. Yeah. Now,
yeah.
No, comment kwanza juu nilikuwa rasa to focus on the guy.
Actually vile umemention shame ndio imefungua tu, because I think at the end ndio other women came out, hivyo vile unasema the first lady is the one. So previously kumekuwa na wengi wenye wamekoniwa, but hii shame umetaja ndio unafanya tu na
kila mtu
yenyewe heri hiyo pesa tu iende, ni kuangenaambia watu I just went broke, there's nothing that instead mtu aone labda nilikoniwa sijui design gani out of love. So I totally get the shame. Why people would shy off into that. It is really sad. Yeah, we were moving on to, I was just checking
to the guy, to the swindler, who has a very complicated name.
Yeah.
Now this guy, ukiangalia mstay, whatever he's doing is out of the ordinary. It is not natural. It is out of the norm. Yeah. So that raises a few questions. Number one, is this a word that you know so well? Is this a compulsive behavior? Is this a personality disorder? Is this a thrill-seeking behavior? Do we have a mental disorder that does not allow him to distinguish between right and wrong? This guy seems to get, not even enjoy. Enjoy is degree kidogo sana. He gets a thrill.
Yeah.
It's not about the money, Freddie. For him, it's not about the money. It is the chase, the conquering. If it was about the money, you would corner 2, 3, invest, and go on normal life.
Yeah,
But
actually
him,
went broke. Yeah.
Angalia venye anakon huyu anachukua hiyo do anatumia kuimpress mwingine, and he is using it so recklessly.
Yeah.
He has no hope for tomorrow. Ni kuisplash, ni kuimwaga. So his thrill comes from the chase and the use. So it leads me, and I am very careful here, because you never diagnose somebody before knowing their proper history. But it raises a lot of questions on what we are looking at in terms of his psychological well-being. Number two, it raises the question of how he was socialized. And by socialization, I mean when you grow up, the experiences that we come across as we grow up from childhood all the way to penye amefika shape us and shape the people who we become.
Yeah.
So with his behaviors, I asked myself, what did he go through? How was his childhood? Something might have been off, that because when you look at this person, I see two very distinct features. Number one, he lacks what we call empathy. He's not able to put himself in another person's shoes, and he lacks remorse. Now, those are two characteristics of two very complicated personality disorders. And not your mental disorders, your personality disorders.
Yeah.
Now, the two point towards sociopathic tendencies or a narcissistic personality disorder. Andika notes hizo, nitakuachia uende ukasome.
Kwanza kuunleash mawazo mpaka najambia I should do some research.
Nitakuachia tu uende ukaangalia baadaye.
Nisikize words niandike.
Remember penye tulianza kusema whatever this person is doing is out of the norm. It is out of the social contract that we have with each other. And he enjoys being out of the norm. So we need to try and dig and ask ourselves, hizi symptoms anatuonesha zinajaribu kupointia nini? And I know you've talked about, before I forget about the criminal justice system, I know you've talked about bringing on professionals, and I know you have lawyer friends. I would want one day have a discussion with a lawyer so that we can look at some of the laws that govern mental health, and this what we are seeing. So hiyo nikipigwa pia, unajua mimi pia ni mwalimu, so naendanga nikipeana homework.
Manze, hiyo sasa ungeniambia before, although nilikupiga surprise with this one. It would have been very nice to have also a lawyer to tell us on that side, that end.
But some of these things come as we go along. But it would be nice to hear what the law says.
Yeah.
But again, back to what I was saying. Because this guy is behaving out of the norm, then it means what we are seeing is, I don't want to call it criminality, and that's why nilikuwa nasema labda tunafaa kuwa na lawyer, because hata ukiua mtu you can plead insanity and it can be considered criminal.
Yeah.
So kuanga na, there's a thin line when it comes to mental health, when it comes to choice versus compulsion. Yeah. So kuna vitu kadhaa tunaweza angalia kutoka kwa umse. But my initial thoughts when I watched that movie is somebody who is either a psychopath or a narcissist. Now, again, we come back, we break it down further, Freddie. Leo naona ni shule huko mpaka umenyamaza.
Niko na notes. Mimi na take notes. Kutoka hapa nimeiva.
We break it down further too, and so that we can bring the topic closer. Let's not think about the millions, because very many of us will watch the movie and see it as something that happens out there to people with money.
With money.
But remember, guys do not even have money. Ama demo wanakuwa si ati wako na do. They are taking loans, and they are loans in the millions. So to bring it closer home, probably we might want to look at our dating scene and today's, in specific, today's commercialized dating scene. Because again, and not by design, I think it is just the way things are evolving, but we've commercialized dating. Siku hizi kama una kakitu Freddie na wewe ni mwanaume, wewe utafika miaka 50 ukiulizangwa tu mbona hujaoa. But
as much as of course such a topic will bring debate, but that is the plain.
No, I'm speaking this because I've watched, and these are things that I take an intentional keen eye, because again of all some of the clients that I see, and you'll find even in relationships that are founded on love and all those nice things you people say, finances are usually what kills relationships. At one point or the other, finances will come back. So when we are looking at this movie documentary in relation to our dating scene, I would want people to understand that, number one, the genuineness of a young love. Or just say hii mapenzi ikiwa young ndio inakuwa more complicated. Yeah. Because that everybody is wearing a mask and everybody is trying to please the other.
Yeah.
The genuineness of a young love is key. Fortunately, again, in today's world, we are moving at such a fast pace that mna meet leo, kesho mmeenda coffee, kesho kutwa mshaanza kuombana do. Nimekwama, unisaidie na tu au.
No, it's acceptable. Yani.
Yeah? But then, remember, somebody who is out to con you will have studied you, will have known all the right words to say, will have known what to show you. And just like on social media, some women are saying, and you see, sorry, I keep on, my mind always is everything. But I keep on, have you ever realized, Freddie, wale madem who very feminist, wale wenye usema mimi naume hawezi sijui, have you ever noticed they're the ones who are chapward character development ile mbaya?
Zaidi.
Na unafaa ni chapward na because
surprisingly, the what we call most educated, the ndio unfortunately hata bila kuhesabu do ndio.
But it's because you see psychology is such an interesting subject to study, because the more you think you can't be conned, the more you think you can't be conned, the more you let your guard down.
Oh, yeah.
It is so simple, yet we act surprised when it happens.
It happens, yeah.
But it is so simple actually. But again, back to the documentary. This guy is pure genius, for lack of a better word. But it is intelligence taken to the extremely negative aspects, and the lack of empathy, the lack of remorse. It is good this lady investigated because he's leaving behind a trail of destruction. These ladies are predisposed. I think, in fact, that particular lady who did this investigation went on to develop psychiatric disorders. In fact, she saw a psychiatrist. I think I saw she either depressive illness or something. So this guy has ruined lives. He has passed through their lives and like a hurricane, and a lot of destruction behind.
No, Actually, sahii umenikumbusha kitu. Now that we say how much destruction is left behind, there was, I think, a wife. There's where they mentioned a wife and a kid that one of the ladies saw in the plane. Now she reached out later to them, and apparently that lady had also been conned the same way. Now, even after being conned, she was right there when was it the first lady or the second lady? When the second lady was being conned. To say that even after all this, she went back. Now, hiyo sijui kama itafall under hiyo shame ama ni
You see, Freddie, I hope one of these days when you start the real topics, we will have a specific day to just talk about personality disorders. Because the reason why I'm leaning towards a narcissistic personality disorder is because people with this disorder have the ability to make those who are around them feel little, feel worthless, feel useless, feel dependent on them. So hata huyu mzee kama alikuwa na wife, the wife psychologically amefinyiliwa, ako place. Doesn't matter what this guy does, the wife will go nowhere. She will always be there. It is like she, unajua ile analogy, Freddie, unajua ile analogy, I think it is from India, where when they are training elephants, they start by tying a rope to the hind leg kwa post, such that hiyo elephant ikitaka kwenda inasikia imeshikwa, but after a while inafunguliwa, but ilishakuwa conditioned that it can't move away from there. That is what happens to people who live around or who live with narcissistic partners. They are tied to that relationship, even though it is very dysfunctional and very detrimental to their own mental and psychological health.
Sasa that's another topic you've already opened up. Once I'm thinking you'll be here for very many topics.
As long as amda niamshe usiku.
Pole, hii ni mara moja tu. Well, I'm seeing Brina TV has also joined us. But at least nobody has a question. It means everybody's understanding better than I am. But I'm taking notes.
Before we even move on, I'm thinking I would have loved to see this documentary, how it unajua unaiproject like an year of these guys doing whatever he's doing and follow these ladies, you will find that these ladies will go through a lot of turbulence. I will not be surprised. Already we've seen a depressive illness in one. I will not be surprised to see somebody else, one of the victims, develop substance use disorders. I won't be surprised to see one of the ladies pick drinking or pick taking of prescription medication, because that's what it is with ladies. Because remember, as long as we are dealing with guilt and shame, then it means this is something that you're fighting alone. And most of these psychoactive drugs, so hiyo ni pombe, bangi, hizo prescription, hizo vitu zote, apart from being used for recreational purposes, they are used to self-medicate shame and guilt, because they take you to another world momentarily. It is an escapist behavior. You for 1 hour you escape reality. So I will not be surprised to see some of these ladies go through that. So ndio nilikuwa nasema venye ulipeana synopsis, venye ulijua hiyo movie, when you look at it critically, you can chambua it from so many angles.
Yeah, true. And Mwas, let me ask, besides the form of relief, does the punishment this guy get, for instance, the way we are saying that we will not be surprised if the ladies who are affected would fall into depression, all the things, very many things you've mentioned. The punishment that he was to get, in corrupt akili, I'm thinking, why don't I have a lawyer here? Your punishment I get. And then we both know who was supposed to be here. He should have he would have really opened up that side of this case.
We have many days. We will look at it.
Yeah, we look at it. So your punishment, for instance, like now, will anything be enough? As in, the 3 months right now again is probably this lawsuit right now will give him a longer period. But besides the relief, can it do something for the affected ones? Maybe.
You see, again, we started by saying we are who we are because of how we are socialized, how we grow up. And growing up, we are taught by the environment, by the people who we interact with. We are taught that there will, as part of life, there will always be wrong and there will always be right. And you cannot avoid both. You cannot be so lucky that nothing ever happens to you, no wrong ever happens to you. But we also socialize that even when wrong happens to you, or even when you're wrong, there is a justice system. So mtu akikuja akugonge ngumi, utasikia uchungu. Ukimpeleka karao afungwe, si ati ile uchungu ulisikia ilisha, bado ulisikia. But psychologically, you are satisfied. It's about satisfaction that action was taken to remedy what happened. In very crude terms, action was taken to revenge for you. So it's a quid. Unifanyie hivi, lakini wewe umefanyiwa hivi. So we use the justice system to this one I don't like using it, but I'll use it so that our viewers can understand. We use the criminal justice system to revenge for us. Now, the justice system has to be very careful so that it is not seen like what we are discussing right now. Was the punishment given equal to the damage done?
Yeah.
So the justice system should always try to balance. If whatever is given as sentence does not, in the minds of men, does not measure up to the damage done, then there is risk of the victim feeling even worse. Remember, this woman had gone out of her way to investigate stuff that the police could not investigate. She had put on danger, mother's life on danger. So when she does all this and then the punishment, quote unquote, is not consummate with the damage she has gone through, again, there might be feelings of even, there might be worse feelings. So while even if this guy got a bigger sentence, was not equal to ear damage, and because this person would have felt satisfaction that there was something to stand for her when she could.
Yeah, I'm thinking then. Yeah, I fully understand, but in the same way, so if the sentence, let's say, quote unquote punishment is not cannot be really equal, because for instance, if they got the money back, like the lady who actually set him up, you can even see there's a difference between her and the others. She's getting some money back selling the clothes, and it's kind of a relief to her. Kila saa, of course, anasema time mwenyewe it can never reach the amount that she was conned, but it's a relief to her. Now the first lady, at least for her, she wasn't really going after the money. Of course she is, but it would be difficult to get the money back. But she was saying she wants to put a stop to this guy, whatever it is he's doing to other women. So probably her, I'm thinking, should be in a better position ata feel like ameachieve. Sijui kama get.
Now again, very interesting door you're opening there, because now we have to agree that no two people are the same. Okay?
Yeah.
For one person, revenge will be this guy being jailed for 27 years. But for another, revenge will be using the same con that he used on me to con him.
You call him.
And it does not matter the value. It is the feeling that ata mimi have gotten.
Yeah, I'm smarter.
I'm smart, exactly.
Yeah,
And again, this brings us to, ndio nasema it's a very interesting door you're opening, because now it also brings us to the different personalities that we all have. There are two kinds of people. There is the kind of person who, when something happens to them, they will sit and cry, and not that there is anything wrong with crying, but they will sit and cry and go into a pity party and shame me, poor me. Why is this happening to me? I am not good enough. Did not even deserve. You see that trajectory, yeah. But there's that other person who something will happen to them. They will look at themselves, wonder, oh, this has happened to me. They will dust themselves and act on it.
Yeah.
Again, different personalities. So the way these two women, I'm not surprised at all by the way these two women behave differently. Huyu mwingine alikuwa anachukua mpaka nguo anauza juu ni designer, anauza anapata sijui 200 pounds ama ni dollars, anaeka $200 is very little money compared to what they had been swindled. You see, that's the fact that anaweza kukol ule msee na ule msee bado amekaa na mgojea. That is enough satisfaction. So it's all about personalities and how we react to situations that happen to us in life. And again, Freddie, kuileta closer home, because me, I usually try and bring whatever we discuss into our daily perspective. Even between us, you will find that two people will get sacked. Mtafutwa job nyinyi wote. Mmoja ataishi home kama amejifungia akisema penye bosi alikuwa mbaya, sijui government ilifanya nini, serikali saidia, sasa hata nitaweza kusurvive aje, and they will waste. But there's that other person who they were the same level with, same circumstances, he will get sacked, she will look around and pick something, and in 2 years or even 2 years, in a year, utaambiwa watu walisakiwa pamoja ukatae.
Yeah.
It is all how you
100% na mwingine ameshindwa. Yeah. I'm thinking, this the way you're saying this, the personality of this other lady, the one selling clothes, akaenda sijui wapi kwa bush kumituo jamaa in the middle of nowhere. Yani the risk she took, she actually spent the night with the guy. All hiyo night mzima, na mtu amekwambia vile ni killer sijui nini, but still you're so focused on what you're after. Alafu utoke na manguo. During the interview she's saying vile anafurahi simu inalia, that's another order for the clothes she's still selling. So I can imagine the satisfaction she's getting.
You know what I'm thinking, Freddie? That lady, that particular lady, now you swindler, they don't have much difference. They are one and the same thing.
Umoja kuna hiyo capability.
Yeah.
She's a good lady, so but her brain when forced exactly turned to okay. In the situation, so let's deal with it like this. I found myself clapping actually. I was like, damn it, nice one. Mjamaa mpaka anamsaidia kubeba bags to the car. I'm sure wherever that guy is, bado anamheshimu, anasemanga that one.
But again, Freddie, my before you nini, I'm thinking this documentary, and speaking now to your audience, we should look at it from a. It should be able to teach us life lessons, not just about being swindled or being conned or being anything, but it should teach us life lessons. Bad things will happen. Bad people out there. We are gullible. We will be conned. How do we get out of it? Because again, Freddie, kumbuka hata hawa madem, kuna wenye walikuwa wameanza kususpect something is not right here.
Yeah.
Hata huyu demu alimuinvestigate, hata akiwa na doubts gani hizo, bado alikuwa anamtumia do. So when you see something is not working for you, at what point do I say I need to pause and think through things? Or do we just act and we are afraid to face our fears? Because some of our fears might be, I might look into it deeply and discover it is what I'm thinking it is. So tunabari our heads in the sand. Yeah. So at times it is, when I watched again this movie, in my mind, what was going through in my mind was there a point that this lady could have stopped? Probably she would have incurred less debt. Probably she would have incurred less heartache. Probably she wouldn't have gotten to the depressive illness. But all the signs were there. So even as we do our daily interactions in life, even as we interact with friends, even as we interact with environments, are we able to look at environments that are negative for us? Do we keep on going deeper into the fire, knowing that I am walking into the fire and I am unable to get out? And if you are unable, do you ask yourself why? Sababu hizi vitu mob negative Freddie tunazionanga zikama, si ati hatuzionangi. Hata tukiwa ndani tunajuanga these negative. Why are we not able to pause and get ourselves out? Sasa nimefundisha sana leo na ni usiku.
Hata unafaa ufungie hapo juu. Hata sasa mimi nimeanza kuwaza yenyewe, there are so many decisions zenye there is that ka feeling you're thinking hapa ni it's time to stop. Lakini bado tu you cheat yourself that no ati maybe here last, as in maybe here last. Like I can imagine what was going through our madam wakiendelea tu kutoa hiyo do, like huo mwenye ameitishwa do yake yote, amepewa check imebounce, amepewa watch fake, but bado after hapo they still unajiambia we justify in our heads, we look for a reason and give that as the reason for this must be,
even though we know it is not. Deep down we know.
Hata nimeona Brina mtu anasema hapa ati nini hiyo job imemtouch what it was a topic of swindler, lakini hizi what comes with it mpaka hata nimeshangaa. I did not think it was that broad. Just watching this guy, it was very nice that I picked your brain. Great lessons learned. Yes, thank you Ben. After job imemtouch. Yeah. Unaonaje Mwas? I'm thinking it has been a good, there's so much, my God. Here I thought it was a simple con, but it has opened up
kidogo.
Oh, ni poli mama, niko sawa? Unasema pande ya personality disorders ndio nimeona imefungwa very many topics that could be jot down, so I'm like I'm getting you like probably thrice a week or twice a week. You'll have to free up some time, man. Yeah, like for it now, for my viewers, any questions, put in the comments. Our good doctor here, Moss, will review. We shall review if need be. But of course, on other topics, especially now, when we get back to addiction, which is the main topic, there's a lot I'm seeing. If this is just a story which we were talking about, and all these psychological, mental, all these issues came up, all these topics, everything that we can discuss, everything that we can learn from my good friend Mr. Mwadi here. I'm thinking, oh, we are in for a ride. Yaani hata mpaka nasikia najikuna huku mwasi, najikuna. So kwa leo sisi tukuachilie, tafadhali tupe a closing statement.
Mazee, sasa hizi ndizo vitu ni throughout off balance. Sasa ukiniambia closing.
Kwa sababu
again. No, good to be here.
Yeah.
Nipeane closing statement ndio umesema.
Juu sasa, thank you very much actually for the introduction. The introduction was perfect. Like I'm thinking our next sit down, there will be not so much of exactly what. Oh, of course we will tell my viewers what exactly you do. But of course, hii introduction, kwanza hizi topics na kwamba open up. Oh, we are in for a very good ride, very good lessons. I'm sure it will touch and help a lot of lives, same as you've helped me. But sitaki ku disclose the juicy part of everything. Wacha tungoje. So thank you, Mwas. We shall set up the next meeting. Naenda kwambia in advance. Probably not so late. So close out tafadhali. Hii ilikuwa tu show yako. I was here as a student, so my viewers. Umefanya hata sijui. I'm thinking I should rewatch the movie. Like now I'm like, this is what Mwas was saying. Na nitafute mtu mwingine nimwambie, you see now those are narcissistic. Psychologically. Naweza shine sana. Mwas. Tuoke kwa heri bana ukapumzike bana.
So thank you very much, Freddie. Again, I've enjoyed. We do this. We might not do it in front of the cameras, but we always have. So
yeah.
It's an honor. It's an honor to be with you on this show. I would encourage viewers to keep on subscribing, to keep on liking. Probably we will. Sikia venye nasema ni kama sasa hii show ni yetu.
Hii show ni yetu. Hiyo introduction hivyo umeleta hii Mwas. Hii show ni yetu. Yaani inafaa hapo Freddie and Mwas. Naweza tokea peke yako hata niulize where is Mwas bana. Niko like hey bana, this is my show.
We will cut the video into smaller clips so that you can watch at your own convenience. And keep glued. We will do this more often. Very diverse, very interesting topics coming up. Leo nilikuwa tu nimeambiwa nikuje nisalimie raia, so leo sina maneno mingi. Thanks, Freddie.
Na hiyo ndio si maneno mingi. Na feel I should do like I should be given a certificate in psychology bana, or mental health or something. But Mwas, thank you very much. We can't wait to have you back once more. Tutapanga tuone the next hot topic. Of course, now we do one in addiction. We shall set it up. So right now I'd like to thank my viewers. Mwas, wacha tufunge kwa leo.
Asante.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mwas. Thank you, viewers. Continue liking. Leave your comments so that we can respond later. And let us know what you think. Let us know your views. And leo ni leo, kesho pia tomorrow, and always stay sober. Thank you.
Thank you.